Hello everybody and welcome to Zelda Speedruns, broadcasting the Zelda 2 Randomizer Max Rando Tournament 2022. It's the lower bracket round 2 for y'all tonight, Paratroopa versus jkoper. Commentating for us we have Drosy1 and Mirai, and tracking for us is Mr. VGD. Say hello everybody.
Hey there, hope everyone's having a great evening.
Hello everyone.
So, we've got a great matchup for you tonight. Two well-known runners in the community, Para and jkoper. This is actually the lower bracket. I was surprised to see both of them in the lower bracket so quickly, but someone had to wind up here, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, they were both up against powerhouse runners. Paratroopa, her loss to Trails, and jkoper took his loss to Level Engine. So two very good runners that they did take a loss to. So, they had a tough race regardless, and here they are in the lower bracket.
Yeah, and Level Engine is even the #1 seed and probably the favorite to win this whole thing. So,
well, hold on, Trossi. There's actually some predictions up on the challenge.com URL for the bracket that we've got there. So there's a few people with a few different predictions on how that's going to play out, but you can't insert any more predictions. It's already over. But you can see what people have put in there already.
Oh, two people have you, but
yeah,
you're already in the losers bracket too.
You don't have to remind me, Drosy.
It surprised me, honestly. But no, I mean, we're getting down. There are only 7 players left. After this match, there'll be 6.
Yeah, it's I forget how many we started with. It was 9 or something like that.
9 in the brackets. I think what 14 in the Swiss.
Yeah, it was 13 or 4. Yes. Yeah, we had an odd number, and I think at the very last minute, Chroma had to step out of the tournament for personal reasons, and that gave us the even number then that we had moving forward. But taking a quick look at the flags here, I didn't look at the seeds, so I don't know what they've got, but looking at the flags, I wanted to make sure that I had this correct. It is because brackets, Max Rando brackets here, we're pulling from a pool of, I believe, 11 different flag sets. So this is a flag set for Vanilla Shuffle is what it's called. And that's going to give us Vanilla Shuffled East and West. We already know that, and the runners already know that as well. Death Mountain is going to be vanilla, and so is Maze Island. On top of that, there are no community rooms in this, so all vanilla rooms. The palaces are reconstructed, so that means that we could find any room from any palace in any other palace, 1 through 6 versus GP and 2 separate palace pools. And finally, the boss rooms are going to exit to the outside of the palace as opposed to being more palace behind the boss. Those are kind of the important things here.
Well, I'm glad you had all that because I totally forgot to check what the flags were.
Yeah, because I remembered to do this the last moment because we pulled from that giant pool and I was like, wait, what flags exactly do we have?
So the boots will be a bit less useful than they sometimes are. Ooh, 5 lives to start with. That's pretty nice. And we start with a candle, a key, and a cross.
So we can jump into palaces immediately if they want to.
Speaking of which, here's a palace.
jkoper going in right away here. I don't know if he just wants to see if this is 3 or 6 and kind of get a read on this. I know jkoper is probably not too excited to go in at 1-1-1, but we'll see how long he sticks in here.
I did not catch how many gems, though.
Neither did I. But we must have, gems 2.
Oh, okay, not very many. Wow.
So depending on where GP is at, we may not need, if GP's on the west, we may not need the east at all. Then again, I say that, and we're probably going to need everything.
Wow, those are generous red Octoroks giving 30 apiece.
500 bag there as well.
Yeah, so Para is going to be leveling up pretty quickly while jkoper is still at 1-1-1.
Yeah, he got 20 experience for that Iron Knuckle, which was unfortunate.
And he's basically getting OHKO'd by just about anything at this health. Yeah, only starting with 3 heart containers here.
Yeah, I don't think we have upstab or downstab either. If we do have upstab, we probably won't see it until some very specific reason to use it. Got ourselves a Death Mountain connector cave there, just southwest of start as well.
Hey, that red iron knuckle gave 70.
Seems like palace enemies aren't doing so hot.
There's Rebo's room already. That was kind of interesting. Also, they started with Fairy. I didn't notice that before. But our tracker did.
Yeah, so I wonder what jkoper's looking for here. Found the boss, knows it's P3 now. Definitely, not only the boss itself, but there are the windows as well. No downstab, as we can see, to get past all this very heavy traffic room here.
Yeah, I'm just surprised that he's still diving here.
Yeah, this overworld exploration is really rewarding Para here with the big P bags and some good experience. Magic container there that she just found in Medicine Cave. And the fact that she knows Death Mountain is now possibly in play as the connector from one side of the west to the other. jkoper headed into Medicine Cave as well.
Yeah, a bit of a high five there. And Coper's finally getting some levels.
Yeah, did he see the P bag yet? I looked away. It looks like he does. He did, because he's getting a lot of levels there.
Well, I think... Oh, was the 500 sitting there? I thought it was a drop from an enemy.
No, it is a drop from an enemy. I was just making sure that he got it, because it should have been one of the first drops he saw.
And Para is working her way through Death Mountain. Now, when you said vanilla Death Mountain, does that mean all the caves are vanilla as well?
Yes. Non-shuffled, completely vanilla.
Wow.
So it's pretty simple and straightforward here. If we had the hammer, we could obviously check Hammer Cave. I mean, we could check Spec Rock next to Hammer Cave, but we don't. So I don't know if we're going to see a Hammer Cave dig, or if we're just going to see a push through to the other side, since I think Para has figured out that there's no other way off of this or outside of this southeast starting area that they're in here by Mito.
Looks like she is going to grab the item from Hammer Cave.
Yeah, it's not a bad play, I don't think, especially if it is like the hammer. It doesn't have to be, obviously, but who knows? At this point, there's still so much stuff on the board, and there's still a lot of useful stuff on the board and some unknowns out there. So I would dig it as well. It's 4 screens in, 4 screens out, pretty much. 1-ups in the drop pool as well.
We're not going to be hurting for lives at all here.
So jkoper is not that far behind after spending some time in that palace, unfortunately. He's on the same route. I don't think he saw Pillar Cave, though, that pillar/P-bag cave. I don't think he saw that, but we know that there's just a 100-point P-bag at the end of that, so he's not really missing anything right now.
And even at Life 3, red Dairas are unpleasant, especially without downstab.
Yeah, not too bad, though. It took 2, I think there was a body and an axe, and still survived with just a sliver of health.
Para, you don't need a key when you have the magic key.
You just want to pick up all the stuff.
Yes, I know how it is. You kind of get in a groove. Ooh, thing! I should pick it up.
Exactly. And sometimes when you start with a key like that, you just completely forget you've got that item because you didn't pick it up yourself in the overworld. You just start with it, and it easily slips your mind this early on. Yeah, so, it's pretty interesting. Para at 333 and jkoper at 233, not that far behind. As he spent those 2 minutes or something right there in the beginning. Didn't really get much out of it, and I thought that was going to set him back a little bit more, but far not much.
Yeah, and that's our second magic jar already, but that isn't going to help us, get through. We're going to have to take the long way through to the rest of Hyrule.
Yeah, I was just double checking to make sure that the magic container requirements for the spells on the east were not enabled, and they are not enabled in this flag set. So it's going to just be a simple, if you've got the child, you can have the spell. You know, if you walk into Naburu or Nukasudo, you can have the spell. So not worried about the magic container requirements, unless it is, of course, the basement for Nukasudo that has our item today. So both of our runners have covered the exact same ground at this point. jkoper, one screen away from him finding his second magic container, and Para about to step out and probably going to head north into Death Mountain and see what the other cave, where the other cave spits us out. But it has to be the west. So it's going to be, because when you have a vanilla continent like this, you have the same vanilla connectors. So on the west, we're always going to have the raft tile. We're always going to have the 2 teleport caves. They don't actually have to lead to, I don't think the connectors, let me double check that.
Oh, and jkoper up aid and is going back into P3.
That's a pretty bold play. He knows where Rebanak is. He said in the past that he hasn't been too comfortable with the down-established Rebanak, although he's not headed towards Rebanak. Looks like he's headed towards the item. Or in a direction opposite of Rebanak, so probably to find the item.
I can't imagine what else you'd be doing in here.
I did check the continent connector flag in this flag set, and it is set to anything goes. So as I was talking about earlier, that the caves didn't have to go to Death Mountain. This time they did happen to just go there. And so we do expect the other side to spit us out onto another section of the west, which always makes for a fun game over, or an up and A. If you don't have the hammer, you're going to have to make this trek through Death Mountain every single time.
Those 500-point P bags are really coming in handy.
Okay.
Tara is on her last life, so she needs to be careful getting through here.
Hey, jkoper just found the boots in P3, which, if we're going to be spending some time on the east, those could be required because there are 2 locations there in the water. And if we get spit out on the top, how is that going to work? If we get spit out on the top section, or we need to get to the top section of where Darunia's area is in the vanilla east, of course it'll be shuffled in this version, but if we need to get up there or we need to get down from there, it might be that the boots could be the only way to do that. So he might be in a really good position right now. Oh, we got a fairy cave over here. I didn't think we saw this on Para's side.
We also saw the west end of Saria, and since we can cast fairy, we could get through to somewhere from here, and it looks like that is what jkoper is doing.
Yeah, this is interesting. I do wonder if jkoper is going to pull ahead here with a long Death Mountain dig for Para. Also game overing and now heading right. Did she game over?
So did Para just not notice that Saria was here?
I'm not sure. She hit the cave on the far side of the bridge. This bridge in the west, in the vanilla west, is going to be a double. This is hard to explain if people are not familiar with the vanilla continent, but regardless, it's a 2-tile bridge that actually connects to each other in the west. And so both of those points of interest on the bridge here in the shuffled version get replaced with something. I don't know if Para knew that she could just walk out of the cave and maybe continue west from there. I'm not sure.
Ooh, and we just got reflect out of Saria.
Yeah, I really hate talking about vanilla continent versus shuffle continent, because if you're not familiar with the layout and things like that, we need a visual aid. We need ZSR, we need an upgrade for visual aid.
I've definitely seen runners get tripped up, and there we go. jkoper has avoided having to go through Death Mountain.
Wow, that could be huge here, and this is going to be trophy cave for him, so maybe if you can find the hammer, hopefully soon enough, he'll open up the entire west. The one thing that doesn't get shuffled in the west are going to be those boulder blocks.
We find the raft in Trophy Cave, so that is definitely a nice find.
That's actually going to be our way off of this continent.
Yeah, and I was going to say, now that we're in kind of the main part of the continent, we should be able to find the raft tile before too long. And
So
that looks like P1.
So I think the only way that Para...
It looks like the raft tile is at the exit of Death Mountain.
Well, that could actually be any cave that connects us there, and that could be a bridge tile, or the raft tile. There are going to be...
Oh, that's
several.
true. Death Mountain doesn't have to come out in its vanilla spot.
Yeah, so we see a bridge tile there on the river that we would normally see there in vanilla, but that doesn't actually have to be a bridge tile. It can be a raft tile down where jkoper is about to walk to, just south of there.
And he also just found Stonehenge, which has the trophy, and what do you know, there's Rudo right next to it, and we're gonna get Thunder. Wow,
so this is interesting, and Para looks a little lost in the vanilla Death Mountain. The backwards pathing might actually mess you up if you're not used to just the vanilla Death Mountain itself. Yeah, she's got to go up here with the forest tiles. That's right. Now she's on the right path. Wow, I'm really liking this race so far. This is pretty interesting. I was going to say that if Death Mountain does kick us out to a specific point of the Western continent, it might be the only way to get to that point. Like let's say Death Mountain exits over to the Paratroopa Desert, like up there in that corner of the West, and it's the only way to get there. And maybe GP is up there or something like that, right? That could be a thing, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. There's your raft.
So Para didn't like that. Wow, the raft spits us out at the beginning of the Valley of Death. That's kind of interesting.
I missed. Is there a jar? Was that 5 or was that 2?
There was no jar. It was 5.
Okay.
Yeah, so Para didn't want to go up because there was a red Dyra there, but I can't remember where this even gets you. I mean, once as a kid, I'm sure I explored every cave just to see.
She's on the right path now. After this, she'll be spit out in that little top section, and then she'll be able to head north, and that'll spit us out somewhere else on the west. I'm sure jkoper is hoping to find Mito real soon.
Oh yeah, and with Fairy, he could actually get into the downstab room.
He's got... Oh, here we go. Wow, spits us out in the same section that Fairy Cave does. So that's a hell of a lot of work to get through Death Mountain to be spit out in the same area that jkoper's had access to for the last several minutes now.
Oh, and it looks like, well, I guess that's either Rauru or Mito is hammerlocked.
Yeah, so this means we're going to have some more pass-through caves. We've got Jump Cave and Paratroopa Cave still on the table. We've seen Paratroopa Cave as far as I know. We don't know where it goes, though. It was next to Saria, or I'm not next to Saria. Sorry, that was Fairy Cave next to Saria. We don't know where that spits us out either. So I guess we've got a few choices for available pass-throughs that are still going to take us into the northern sections of this western continent.
Oh, and jkoper just found the entrance to Death Mountain. It's like, well, I don't need to go there.
Yeah, the thing about this Western vanilla continent, shuffled or not, is that hammer is so valuable to get you around so much more quickly.
And we have no clue where it is at the moment.
We've got a heart container cave here. There's going to be an item in here. Have we seen... I've been bad at keeping track. We've seen Medicine Cave. We've seen the Pillar Cave. We've seen... I don't think we've seen Magic Container Cave. I think that's what we're still missing after this. Because we've also seen Trophy Cave, and we've seen the Grass Tiles. So I think we're still missing Magic Container Cave. And a third palace on the west. This bouncy cat is really taken his jkoper laughs about it. It is
not
one
the
of those
sort
moments.
of enemy you expect to take you down.
Yeah. The bouncy cat's though the worst, especially in the dark. You're like, what is hitting me? And the things just keep bopping into you. Oh.
Well, that was sure worth it. And I believe we did see a glove block at some point in P3, so...
He got the item out of there, and we were able to see Reba.
Oh, right, it was the boots. Never mind.
But at this point, what do you do if you're jkoper? He's seen everything at this point. Without having a hammer, are we checking pass-through caves to see if we can reach more of the west? We're missing one cave. Again, I think that's just Magic Container Cave. Although that could be something very valuable. We have no idea. He's got access to the east already. Does he head back to the east? Does he check pass-through caves? This is a tough decision to make. He's got the boots as well, too, so he's opened up the complete... no, he hasn't, necessarily. The River Devil might actually still technically be a block, but I don't know. That's a pretty tall order in a shuffled east because of all the pass-through caves that will take you all throughout the map itself.
And also, there are two palaces this side of the River Devil.
Yeah.
We only need to place 2 gems, so if we can find GP without having to pass the River Devil...
Yeah, well, there's 3. We have 3. If we want to do a down-established Rebanek, we have 5. And then we have whatever's over here. Was this 4 where Para's Para's down here kind of in the Saria section? There's another palace right next to where Para was. I forget what that was. We are going to see the other side of Fairy Cave here, though. Yeah, I'm kind of with jkoper, though. I'd probably keep exploring the west, just simply because I would hate to leave something behind. I would like to be able to map out this area a little bit better before I leave it and go east. And so this is probably the play I would make as well.
Oh, and here's our connector to the Paratroopa Desert.
Ooh, an open town up there. That could be our Mito for our downstab. And here's our Magic Container Cave. Those 500 bags, they're dropping quite frequently. Para just picked up another one at 446. And jkoper at 434, or 435.
As he gets a 500 bag, and now he's at 444.
Yeah. Well, he's got one last spot to check up here, and that's going to be the vanilla exit of Paratroopa Cave. I don't think he kind of made a little jog over to the west here, which he's going to do in a moment. It's a whole lot of nothing, it looks like.
Just a red jar for all that. Yeah, he's just going to do an up A.
I don't know if we've seen Jump Cave at all. I'm pretty sure we've seen Paratroopa Cave, and that's, I think, where he's headed, where jkoper's headed right now. He knows it's at the back, or sorry, he's going to take Saria, and Paratroopa Cave is over in the Saria, vanilla Saria section. God, this is so hard to talk about these continents.
Speaking of Saria, Para just found Bagu. And she may feel a little silly if she goes through Saria and sees where the other side is.
Yeah, that's, yeah. Oh, wow. She found the double bridge connector, took us to the Vanilla Saria exit, which takes us to Jump Cave in reverse, and this is going to spit us out. We haven't seen the front of Jump Cave as far as I know, so this is likely going to spit us out in the North Palace section of the west up there, and that's going to give us potential access to that one town that could be Mito again. Downstab being very valuable here. We'll see if jkoper makes his way into that bridge. That bridge tile strikes again. Looks like Koper is headed east.
I think Jump Cave's got enough Dairas today? Jeez.
There's a lot of Dairas in this one, and they're given, the orange ones there are given 100 and 500-point P-bags, 150-point P-bags, 100-point P-bags. We're getting some good P-bags in this one. A lot of experience. Oh! What palace is this? Oh!
Oh!
Wow!
So we technically might not even need to go to East Hyrule today.
We don't. We've got 3 and 6 on the west that we know of, and then GP sitting here on the island, but this is tricky to get to, and unless jkoper, like, it's just... Pyra just seemed to stumble upon this, and unless jkoper keeps that in the back of his mind that double bridge tile is something to keep an eye out for, he might not find that. That tile is so it's so infrequently in play when it comes to routing the west. Now, yeah, I was going to say even the hammer won't help him here. Nothing's going to help him unless he checks that bridge tile eventually for when it's time to find GP. Then again, he might get his 2 palaces out of the way and be looking around and look at every other palace and realize that, okay, my 3rd missing palace on the west is going to be GP. Now I need to check every tile in order to get to it, and maybe he will find it. So we're seeing Pyra backtrack through Jump Cave and back through this bridge tile because she's not familiar with where you get spit out in Saria, and she doesn't want to have to go back through Death Mountain again. See what's on our water tile here. I just missed what was in Darunia there. I think he just got upstabbed. Oh, for first heart. At this point, you probably want to be in a palace, and I know jkoper has said before that he's not too confident in his downstabbless Revenac technique, so he's probably not going to be wanting to jump into 3. Probably hoping to find 1 soon enough. 1 and 2 are still out there. We know 5 is here on the east, but 1 and 2, we've got 2 missing palaces here, and then wherever Maze Island is. Something else to keep in mind with our shuffled east is that when we look at the Maze Island bridge on the vanilla map, the spot that you step on to be connected to Maze Island is only 1 tile. So the bridge is technically only 1 tile here on the eastern continent. So jkoper is going to be wanting to check these bridge tiles here on the east to see which one maybe will connect him to Maze Island.
But in the meantime, he's in P4 and he has Reflect, so he may just try to get a quick gem out of here.
Yeah, I think he's going to be happy with P4. Shouldn't be too hard to do this, but sometimes P4 can be a bit of a troll, and without downstab.
And Paratroopa's about to get the bad news.
Yeah. All right, so we got some drop rooms here in P4.
Oh, she feels a bit silly. She cast Fairy so hastily she didn't get the P bag, but oh well.
So the way to get to that North Palace section on the west looks like it's going to be Paratroopa Cave, if I'm not mistaken. We've seen Fairy Cave where it spits us out. We've seen where Jump Cave spits us out. We know the double bridge connector. We've seen Saria, and the only other pass-through, so to speak, that's going to take us from one section of the west to another is going to be Paratroopa Cave. So we need to find that. I think we've seen it already, but neither one of our runners jumped into it. Then again, as you noted, there is a town behind a hammer block, so that could be Mito, and the hammer, downstab may be blocked behind hammer. That could be, and I would like that to happen in this seed, so we'll see.
Just to make things a little bit tougher for the runners?
Yes.
Otherwise, it's too free.
Oh, 59 experience away from a level for Para. There was that P bag there that had dropped into the little rut there in Magic Container Cave, unable to grab that. And I believe that's going to be attack 5 for her, yeah.
As jkoper grabs life 5. Yeah, certainly can't complain about how the levels have been coming along, because sometimes you see a 2-gem seed and you're like, am I going to be able to get enough levels? But that is not a problem here.
Yeah, definitely. I wonder if we're going to see jkoper dig out the item in 4 as well, seeing as it's here and it's accessible. I don't know exactly what we would be looking for at this point, though.
I mean, maybe the hammer?
Yeah, hammer, potentially flute to make eastern access a bit easier. Parent going backwards through Fairy Cave is going to spit her back out over by start.
Yeah, and jkoper, unfortunately, without downstab, having a tough time with those blue iron knuckles.
Yeah, that's what you're always afraid of when you walk into these palaces without downstab. Are you going to run into Doom Knockers? Are you going to run into blue iron knuckles? You know,
or are you going to run into a dead end?
Yeah. And then have to go back through a blue iron knuckle. Yeah, Desi in chat saying, just get 3 and 6 done and then go into GP. Para has that information. jkoper's still not sure what the third palace on the west is, or even how to get to it at this point. But he's going to need to know that information, seeing as that is Great Palace. Now, there's a lot of backtracking for jkoper here, a lot of magic. Well, he's getting 1-ups as well, so I'm not sure if I'd be walking back or if I'd just be up and A-ing to try a different path. Sometimes I'm a little hasty when I play myself. I up and A very quickly, thinking, oh wait, it was only about 2 rooms back. I could have just walked that.
I'm just amazed. I mean, I guess it doesn't help that we only have 3 heart containers, but Para's still taking a lot of damage at life 6.
It could be that life has rolled down and our life levels are not that impressive in terms of defense. I'll have to keep an eye on jkoper over here at life 5. Now there was that. Oh, here's what you don't want to see on on these crumble bridges. Yeah, he's got a lot of lives though, so it is what it is.
Yeah, the 1-up's definitely helping, and he's just got to ferry over the whole thing.
Yeah, I was going to say that he took that drop in P4 pretty early on, so there's more palace behind that drop, and it's going to feel bad if Karak was just the next room beyond that point, and he took the drop, and now he has to play like all of Palace 4 and figure it out and realize that it was just to the right of the drop room. We don't know that that's the way that it is, but that could be what it is, and that would be super troll.
That is a lot of iron knuckles. Here's Karak.
Well, and just enough to cast.
Wow. As Para discovers the raft tile, so she's over in the east as well. Finds P5.
I'd like her to dig into Death Valley right now. Okay, good, because we haven't seen what's in Death Valley yet. That could be Maze Island's bridge. It's not. She doesn't want to walk in.
Was that just a pea bag that Karak dropped?
I don't know what dropped on Parasite. She checked a bridge and
No, I meant the Karak dropped for jkoper.
Oh.
I think it was a pea bag. Yeah, chat saying a small pea bag. So 1 gem placed.
No item in P4. Not going to dig anything out of it. Now, if this cave is not a pass-through, he's not going to be able to get through up here without the flute. The River Devil is always going to be... Same thing as the boulder blocks in the west. The River Devil is always in play in the same spot on the east. On a shuffled map. Oh, but there's a town.
And now Para's doing P4. Oh, new Kasudo.
Didn't check the sign, but checked that he didn't have the spell.
And 6 jars is enough to get the item.
No, thank you.
Jeez. That's lame.
Do we have the spell?
Not yet.
Well, we'll see if Para makes this jump. Okay, we're going to see what's beyond here.
He does have the spell from Old Kasuto. I didn't realize that.
Okay, I thought I saw something down there, but I wasn't sure if that was spell.
And New Kasuto gives us jump.
A very nice spell to have in GP. And there are even some rooms in regular palaces that might require jump, but they're usually not in play.
Oh, interesting. We have a Rebo room in P4.
The good old Rebo Shark that you cannot. She's going to be forced to do a downstabbless Rebanek, of course. And even if you had downstab, this room is designed in such a way to where you cannot cheese Rebo on the edge of the screen. Doesn't want any of that. Okay. So that confirms that the item was just to the right of this drop room that jkoper initially took here in P4.
But without downstab, we sure hope it's not the hammer.
Yeah, that would be interesting. That would be interesting. He is, jkoper is going to check this pass through, though. We'll see what this spits him out. No hammer.
Can't uncover whatever's where New Kasuto should be. But that also means one fewer possible pass-through to northeast, so River Devil could well be blocking that area, but at the same time, we could well not need to go there.
Yeah, everything we know right now doesn't take us there. Again, with I mean, unless you want downstab, and let's be honest, they probably do. So they're going to be trying to find a way to get there. There's so much that you have to keep track of in these shuffled continents that I don't know if they've thought about Paratroopa, because I'm almost positive we've seen it.
Ooh, Koper is going back into P4. I wonder if he'll be able to get past Rebo Shark.
Yeah, if he backs out of this, we're going to have to get him enlisted in the Trails training camp for downstabbless Rebanek classes. I mean, I'll be honest, it's not the most fun thing to do, but they do have really good levels right now, especially Para at 5.56, jkoper at 4.55. And, you know, if you could just kind of jab him a few times as he just rides past you, you know, you can get him off of that horse, and then it's just simply kind of just fighting a blue iron knuckle at that point. Just take it slow.
I'm a bit surprised Koper would use Fairy here, though I guess it's not that much magic, but still, I would have thought Jump would be easier.
All right, all eyes on jkoper here. Downstabbless Rebanek. See, that works too. I've never seen the jump strat employed, but it's working. All he says, just got to do it slowly, and it'll work. Now, fighting him off of the horse with jump might be a little bit more difficult. No.
Rebo 2, Runners 0.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. It looks like he's going to come back into Death Valley, though, and check what's there. I did get a glimpse of something at the very top of one of the lava paths. It's just a forest tile. So we'll see. There's going to be, I believe, at least two other points of interest that we haven't seen just yet in Death Valley.
And Para finds the same dead end that jkoper found, but she's gonna actually check the end, and it's just a key.
This is probably going to be another bridge that jkoper... Oh, he's going to do a little fairy feet. Okay. Nicely executed.
Here's a pass-through cave.
This is actually an item cave. It's sunken pea bag cave.
Oh.
We're hoping for flute or hammer, I guess.
How do you tell the difference between this and the connector to New Kasuto?
That's going to be the second screen that looks like that.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Well, that opens up the rest of the rest of the east for us here. We also have seen what looks like a desert tile, but I believe there are 4 desert tiles on the east, and we're only really interested in one of those, so we'll see if this is the one we're interested in.
And we should also note that jkoper has not yet found Great Palace. Paratroopa has.
Yeah, and that is going to be something, again, it's behind the double bridge encounter, and then it's behind a 3-screen jump cave that takes you to the Island Palace location, although the cave and the palace are flipped on the island itself. So jkoper is going to have to find that, but it's a little hidden. Yeah, this was our forest tile here in Death Valley.
And Para has found Karok.
Hopefully not going to get trolled by him. 1 heart container there, although I'm pretty sure she probably has some additional lives remaining. So jkoper, now having the flute, he's probably just going to head back to the pass there, take care of the River Devil, and then show us what the other 2 palaces here are on the east, and maybe access to Maze Island while he's at it. Although it is a little bit of a walk, as things tend to be on these vanilla continents.
And looks like he's gonna just dive P5 since he's here.
Yeah, I think in his mind, yeah, get it out of the way, and then he hasn't seen the other 2 palaces here, and the palace on Maze Island is still missing, so those could be GP. Probably wants to just walk into GP when he sees it, so do 5 and get it out of the way.
Oh, Para never got the boots.
Nope. So
she just
even
found the water tile.
Yeah, and if she finds that flute, she's still I guess it really doesn't matter, to be honest. It's not that dramatic. It's a little less dramatic than what it was in my head a moment ago, but because she knows where GP is at. So that's, the boots are not necessarily going to be required for anything here.
Oops, jkoper couldn't quite make that jump.
Maybe he'll get lucky like he did in P4. Take the drop and it'll run into the boss.
Of course, P5 is huge, so it could still take quite a while to run into that boss.
Yeah, Para, I thought we saw another pass-through. Para's showing us that other pass-through there in the old Kasuto vanilla location. So that could have taken us north, and the flute might have not been required by any means here to go north. Then again, without the boots, she'd still probably be blocked off from one of the sections of this area, of this east. Hard to say. I believe we saw Shield in Darunia, but we're childless. Did jkoper check on the hint for where the child is at? I'm not sure on that.
I don't think so. Para certainly didn't.
Okay.
Para immediately went out as soon as she saw it was Shield. She didn't even want to upstab.
Ooh, fairy block room here.
Gotta take a lava bath to replenish magic.
Yeah, you know what? I think on the water tile, was that where our heart container was? I'm pretty sure that's where the heart container was. So that's why Para is still going to be down a heart container until she finds the boots, if she ever does. Because technically, I guess, they're not actually required as far as we know.
And jkoper finds Guma just past that fairy block. And it's a weak Guma today, too.
Let's hope Attack 4 is up to the task of getting Guma down quickly here. Doesn't look to be doing too bad. I would say that's going to be a 2-shot probably at life 6 without shield.
Yeah.
There it is.
And enough for a level before getting a level from the gem, so that's also nice.
2090. That was the cost of Attack 5. It must share the cost with something else here.
Magic 6.
Okay. Para finding the New Kasuto, vanilla New Kasuto location being blocked by whatever's under the forest tile. Neither one of our runners have the hammer to have shown us that point, that hidden tile at this point.
But other than the lack of downstab, and jkoper's going back to the west, so he could find GP here. Oh, nope, going back to the east.
Yeah, with the raft tile's right in the traveling path.
Right. You can't really avoid it. He's gonna actually try his luck with the flute.
Yeah, we have one remaining palace now. I was probably saying 2 incorrectly a little bit ago, but we have one remaining palace on the east, unidentified, and then of course, however we get to Maze Island, jkoper is going to have access to all of that though, with the flute to get through here and the boots to walk around the mountain range that's going to block us from the very north section, the vanilla Darunia section of the map. That could be these bridge tiles. One of these is probably going to be our Maze Island. Desert tile in the desert this time, although in a different location.
That is a good memory to know that there's a tile there.
It's definitely caught some people in the past. It's yeah, having some vanilla knowledge is useful for troll tiles like that. And so this is going to be our second item cave on the east. I think we got fingers crossed for hammer.
Suspense is killing me.
Oof. Yeah, unfortunately, they don't wrap up the items in this game. So when you see a bag, it's just going to be experience points. So we still have... Actually, we have nothing in the overworld in play. We've seen all overworld tiles at this point. No hammer. So I guess we're looking at Palace or Maze. I guess Maze Island is still overworld, but I mean, East and West, all of those overworld locations have been exhausted at this point. So we're looking for Maze Island items, or hammer might be in a palace somewhere.
And as best we can tell, both of the remaining towns, Rauro and Mito, are hammerlocked.
Yes. Well, I'm going to say that one of them is behind Parappa Cave pass through. That's what I'm going to say. I don't think we've seen both sides of Parappa.
Have we seen one side of Parappa Cave?
I believe we have. I think it's down in the Saria area. Or, I mean, the Lost Woods Bagu area of Vanilla.
Hey, here's one of our other palaces.
Yeah, jkoper wants this to be GP, but we know it is not.
Another desert tile on the desert that was, sure, Daruni is there, but...
Yeah, this is it's always fun to see the way that the randomizer shuffles around all of the points of interest from the vanilla maps to the shuffled areas. It really makes some really interesting maps at times. As difficult as it is, or annoying as it is to move around these continents, it still makes things interesting.
Well, we get the item out of that palace incredibly quickly. It is just the child, though, which is only good for shield.
Depending on how much of a troll GP is, shield might be the play. But jkoper's sticking around in P1. With only 2 gems, he does not need to be here.
Yeah, I'm not sure what... Does he not realize how many gems he has?
Perhaps he RSVP'd to a dinner date with Horsehead and he's just keeping his word.
I mean, he just brought up his menu, 0 gems. You can see it there, folks.
It's always interesting to sit here from the audience / commentator perspective and just see, you get to see all of the information. Oh, we've got our Maze Island over here that I completely didn't even see Para find.
I missed it too. I was trying to figure out what jkoper was doing in P1.
Yeah, what was that first item there in the drop for Maze Island? We're going to see the second one here.
So Para finally gets a heart container.
Yeah, that's she does not have she does have the flute. So it is going to be one of those bridge tiles that I had mentioned earlier that it's either going to be in the Buru's location or just west of there.
jkoper does have upstab. I don't know if they started with it or if he grabbed it out of Darunia when we weren't looking.
Yeah, I think he went into Darunia to get upstab, and that's why I was asking if he got the hint for the child. That's why I wasn't sure, but maybe that's why he came into P1 to get the child to begin with. But he's still in here. He might.
You said he might be just very keen on Horsehead.
It's true. Maybe he just wants to meet his old friend and be like, "Hey, buddy, haven't seen you in a while." Yeah, Para not having a second palace at this point, second gem play, so is going to jump into P2 that's sitting here on Maze Island.
Maybe its item will be the hammer.
See, what could be interesting here is that since we have a vanilla non-community room GP, that downstab room is definitely going to be, well, I say definitely, but there's a very, very high chance that we see that in play. So if we see it from below, it's going to be the upstab block. If we see it from above, it's going to be a downstab block. And if it's on the route to Darklink, we're going to need downstab, and we're going to need to get to Mido.
And down goes Horsehead. We'll see what jkoper does here when he doesn't have a gem to place.
I'm going to say he's going to roll his eyes. Oh, no. Yep. He's like, damn. He passed the pedestal and gave a quick look back on the camera like, what? And then double checked to see that gem missing. No 0 gems there. It happens though, because I don't want to call anyone out here, but this did happen to, I think it was the first race between, in Swiss for our Max Rando 2022 tournament here between Trails and Sinus. Trails did the same thing where he went to place a 3rd gem and a 2-gem seed and was like, oh man. But yeah, as quickly as you're moving, sometimes it happens. I have found myself in palaces as well. I don't think I've ever went to try to place the gem, though. I think I've caught myself before we got to the boss, but I've walked into palaces like, wait, I don't need to be in here.
And at least it was only P1, so it's a quick palace.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true. Your tracker, Mr. VGD, pointing out that he's probably a little tired. He did come from a Link to the Past race immediately, had to, not to give any spoiler alerts here, but he did quit out of it to make his schedule for this race. So,
And P2 item, just a blue jar.
Hammer still in play somewhere, especially if it's not on Maze Island. So it's going to be in a palace somewhere. It's not in, well, it could still be in 3. 3, 6, and 5? 3, 6, and 5. Because we've seen 1, 2, 4 from all of our runners together, combined. And so we've got 3, which we know is, 4 is Rebo blocked. I'm messing up here. It's 4, 6, and 4, 6, and 5. 4, 5, and 6.
I mean, is downstab logically required for Rebo? I've never actually considered that.
I don't think so, no.
Okay, so it could be a forced downstabless Rebo locking the hammer to get downstab, which would be hard required in GP, for all we know.
Yeah, that's possible. Yeah, I don't think downstab has any. I mean, downstab has like the logical requirement for, again, routing in a particular palace or something. But to get through Rebo, I don't believe so. I think downstabless Rebo neck is completely expected to just be a standard thing. You don't see it that often, but here we are. It might actually be a thing.
Wow, and jkoper found a connector to the far side of the Valley of Death, and it gets nothing.
Yeah, what's probably still on his mind is Maze Island. And now that we've seen it on Parasite, we know that that's not it. We knew that that's not where GP is, but we thinking about Hammer here. We know that's not where the Hammer's at. Yeah, see, so here's your cave you were asking about in reverse.
Right, so this would be the new Kasuto connector in vanilla.
Yes.
Hey, and that is a super weak helmet head.
He's wearing all that armor because he's just pale and weak underneath.
It's not one of those things that helmet head always seems to be weak.
Yeah, it does seem to be that way a lot. We've talked about that often. But that's going to be Para's second gem. And I don't know if she's just going to turn around and go to GP. It doesn't seem like it yet. It seems like we're still out looking for stuff. So, yeah, no up and A and no back to the west. So.
Oh, right. She still doesn't have the boots. I was like, why is she taking the long way around? And right.
Yeah, it's interesting that our two runners have the different items between them, different knowledge between them still, even 54, almost 55 minutes into the seed already. And we've got still some big different, a good bit of different knowledge between the two runners. I thought jkoper was thinking about going back into 4 to see if he can do a downstabless Rebanek here. I think he's just looking to grind and get this 30-30 level, which might be a tech. Nope. It's close, though. Yeah, it was 30-90 for attack 6. So the thing is, if he wants to go back to Darunia and get shield and feel even better about this downstabless Rebanek, Darunia is not too far from here, I don't believe.
No, it isn't. I think it was near Three-Eyed Rock.
Yeah, I think it's actually in the vanilla. There's a bridge that connects Old Kasuto's little area to the desert there by Three-Eyed Rock. I think that bridge has been replaced with Darunia in this.
No, the bridge was replaced with Old Kasuto. I think the heart container location is where Darunia was.
Okay. Yeah, so this could be big for jkoper. If he finds this hammer, he's definitely going to be... See, the thing is, though, man, what's interesting about this Maze Island that's missing for him, that is undoubtedly on his mind, is that this actually burned him back in the Max Rando 2021 tournament in a race against Chromaticalism in a shuffled East. And yeah, he missed a Maze Island because of that, and that cost him the race. This time it's not going to cost him the race, but he's probably going to be looking around for it a little bit longer to see if he can find it.
Hey, we never found Nibiru, did we?
No. Oh, is that maybe
New
Casuto Forest?
location.
That's funny. We both think of it. Yeah, that one last spot we didn't see.
Because we don't have life yet. I mean, I don't think we really care for fire unless it's connected to something, but we don't have life.
Now, I don't want to tell, jkoper how to play this, but just personally, when I was learning how to do it down Status Rebenek, I did find it easy to just kind of let him rush at you and then just do the crouching jumping stab and let him hit that and let him just keep cruising through you. And, that was just the one hit. But when you see the good plays, people can get 3 hits on them before for each ride by cycle.
So why is he riding a shark anyway?
Because the horse takes on part of Karok's sprite in P4.
Oh, and Rebo is really weak here, but Koper is also weak. He was so close there.
Yeah, I think he's just going to keep trying it. I think, locations, he's seen more so far overall. And so he knows that the locations are beginning to dwindle. The number of locations where the hammer can be is coming down. So it's time to start checking these palaces and, see what's in them. Much cleaner this time. It looks like each beam takes 1 heart container.
Okay, finally.
Nice. Is it the hammer?
Oh, the key.
Jesus.
All that. That's painful.
So P5, I think, is what we're headed to now. I think we're going to check P5's item. And if he doesn't remember how he got to Guma, we might be seeing some backtracking through some of the rooms here. Now, because these are community rooms, not community rooms, these are just vanilla palaces being shuffled around, I don't actually know if the logic for the direction that the item room is pointing in is in play, or because they're reconstructed, that something like one of the palaces that has the room to the right can appear really anywhere. So any direction is in play when it comes to looking for the item, if that makes any sense. That's one thing that I'm just not sure about when it comes to looking for items in a non-community room. Oh, no.
That was unfortunate.
Yeah, dying with a bunch of magic, too. He had enough to cast Fairy to get through there. Or maybe even cast Thunder. Because when you cast Thunder, it clears everything on the screen, and so that would clear those little sticks that those guys are throwing.
So do we think Para's also looking for the item here in 5, or does she also not
Or are we
realize?
doing an accidental gem placement in 5?
Right.
I'm going to say item. Though.
I hope item.
Which actually, if this is it, then both of them are going to be neck and neck in terms of wanting to find downstab. But Para's still going to have that GP location knowledge that jkoper doesn't have. So that would put her into GP sooner.
But if you're right that we saw Parappa Cave, that could connect us to the northwest and get us whatever that one town is, which has a 50-50 of being Nido, and maybe we don't need Hammer.
Yeah, the longer this goes on, I'm beginning to question whether or not I saw it, although I'm pretty sure I saw it. So the thing is, there is a trick to get through this room without upstab or downstab or the jump spell. And to learn that
same
trick,
way you can get around upstab requirements in GP.
yes, exactly. You can glitch through part of the block if you break out the breakable blocks in a certain way. You can get it to where you can glitch through the floor, if you will, and pop yourself up into it. But jkoper has upstab, so no big deal for him. It'll be interesting. I'm pretty sure we saw this path before on jkoper's side. We saw him go through that room, although there could have been a duplicate room for all I know with these non-community room palaces. And so if upstab or the trick that Para doesn't know is required to get through that room, and it is to the item, then this will give jkoper the hammer, or we assume the hammer. We're all hoping the hammer at this point, or at least our runners are. That'll give him hammer access before Para, potentially. Because Para did see Darunia, but opted not to go in and get upstab. Oh! Drum roll, please. Nope.
The last magic jar.
So on jkoper's mind, he's got 2 items on Maze Island. He's got a palace on Maze Island. He's got P6 on the west. They have access to P6 down there in the north side of Saria, Lost Woods area there on the west. So no one has gone into P6 at this point, other than just to see that that's the other palace there on the west. So we'll see if jkoper just heads south from here. It's just a little south from here. Or it's one of these bridge tiles. He might be checking these bridge tiles as well. He's going north, so maybe that's in the back of his mind. It really helps to maybe have like a cheat sheet when it comes to these shuffled east and west continent.
It looked like he was looking down at some notes, so he might have some sort of sheet with taking notes on.
Yeah, and this is going to be, I believe this is the bridge he wants. It's the only 2-screen bridge, and here it is. This is going to take him to what is Jump Cave in the southern Saria section, the second half of Saria's output on the vanilla continent. God, this, again, so confusing to talk about this stuff. But that's going to spit him out here into Death Mountain's normal entry cave, Jump Cave, 3 screens to the Island Palace location, which is going to give him GP knowledge. Still no hammer, still no downstab, but I would imagine he's going to try it. I hope he does.
At this point, an hour in, you might as well see if you can get through.
Yeah, and at the same time, you almost wonder if your opponent tried it, because it's right here, and maybe you need downstab. And
Para's about to find Guma. Let's see what she does when she finds Guma.
Oh, that's right behind the fairy block here.
Okay, she realizes she's placed all her gems, so she did not want to fight Guma.
All right, so Koper into GP at 104.39 on our clock here. All right, so I'm going to say glove required. Good that we found that probably 10 minutes in, 15 minutes into the seed.
Jump spell certainly helpful.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of this stuff, again, because we don't have any community rooms. So all of the standard vanilla rooms are in play. Those are the only things we're going to be seeing. So being Waffle Rooms being a standard vanilla room, we're going to probably see a lot of those.
Does that also mean Thunderbird required?
No, Max Rando still stays true to Thunderbird, not necessarily required.
Oh.
But it's going to be a lot of these rooms. It's going to be a lot of Jackamus rooms. There's a particular fun room that we like to call of these elevator rooms. The elevator rooms are whatever. But yeah, we're probably going to see a lot of repeated rooms and potentially some maze-like structure to this. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. We're only about 4 rooms in. Yeah, that room up there is what we like to call the fun room.
I don't even know half the rooms in GP because once you learn the route, you never look at the other rooms.
Yeah, you have to just play a ton of GPs, and it can be difficult because obviously you normally play when you're learning most people will play like a standard 6-gem clear of a seed. And so you're playing 6 palaces that are just normal palaces, and you learn those rooms fairly quickly. But GP is only ever 1 palace out of the entire seed, so you don't get a lot of GP practice unless you just play a ton of seeds, or you roll flag sets specifically and to just 0 gems, bunch of attack and other levels to get you into GP right away, and just do a bunch of GP practice. Para's still looking around in P5 here. I'm going to say there's probably not another way to get to that item room. I think what we saw jkoper come from was an elevator up after this room that Para's in that's a block. But I think it was a T-junction that jkoper hit, and it was a dead end on the right and an item room on the left. But lucky for Para, it is not where the hammer is.
Blue Chicken Knight on a collapsing bridge.
Yeah,
Not really what you want to see this close in. Okay.
We're going to
Push
see
it into the lava eventually.
This is GP without downstab, folks. Can't just surf over those guys. So we got Para in Darunia, gonna get upstab and probably head back into P5. Yeah, so I guess the only remaining location we have is actually P6. If I'm wrong on the Paratroopa Cave connector, then P6 is all that we have left in play for where the hammer could be. And
Bet you wish this was downstab. That's a great message.
oh,
Almost made it through the room. At least he has plenty of lives.
yeah, it's interesting having the child and having that be what blocks shield. I would definitely bring this guy back in this type of setup. Bring him back, put him in the hole, or at least hope he falls in the hole. He might not. There it is. Okay.
And meanwhile, Para just got the hint about shield, knows that it's in P1. Probably not going to go to the trouble.
I don't even think she can. Needs the boots to get up there, as far as I know. I don't think there was any cave access.
Oh yeah, I think you're right. It's so weird because jkoper got the boots so early on and Para just never got them.
Yeah. Oh, upstab. That's the room, though. If we see that in reverse from what we're seeing it now, then that's going to be a downstab block. Might be worth just casting jump to get up there and not let this guy keep trolling you.
Or fairy if you insist.
Yeah, he cannot get touched, though. And that guy's big.
Yeah.
His hitbox is kind of screwy, too. It's more like down and left from center, as opposed to just being dead center on him. Well. Let's see, we got heads. Nope. Okay. Usually when you see like a quiet waffle when you walk in from the right, you get hit with dots and flying heads, and that would have been pretty much death at that point. Although this is a bad situation to be in.
I mean, no one likes a spicy chicken.
I prefer spicy chicken.
Maybe Krista Joy. But the rest of us, no.
So far, have we mostly had a linear path at this point? We had one branch that went up and left and then right into a dead end, so he got forced back to go up and left. And I don't think we've seen another branch since then.
No, I don't think so, and this looks like the same room all over again.
Welcome to a non-community room vanilla GP, Trossi. Ever you're going to see so many repeated rooms, it becomes quite difficult. If it's a log GP, if it ends up being kind of a long maze-like one, we might see some pen and paper routing here. So another branch, speaking of branches, but we have another upstab block there, up and left, and we're going to check to the right. I know Alan Heffley might still be in chat. He likes to throw these non-community room GPs at us from time to time, and he likes to just torture us. So this is a drop room here for jkoper. Not going to take it. Kind of a little frustrated there, looks like. Either that or he's swatting at a fly. I don't know. Maybe his window's open. We've had some nice weather lately. Anyway, Paratroopa through the upstab block and going to be making our way toward the item room that we know is not anything. Well, it is a magic container, so that's nice, but it's not going to be the hammer that I'm sure she's hoping for. So here is where jkoper should be casting a jump spell, breaking out that block just above him, okay, he's got it. Forget the jump spell. I'm sorry I said jump spell. This is the move, though. This is the answer.
Just let it come down and whack it. Oh no, it came down too far.
Yeah, that sucks.
He's just conceding it and doing a thunder.
Oh, man. Visibly frustrated on his camera here that we can see, but still in good spirits, still laughing it off, making it through this GP here. Had he found Maze Island and gotten the heart off of Maze Island, he would have had 5 hearts. That's all we know so far. There's only 2 extra hearts. They started with 3, but each of them have found a different heart in a different location. jkoper finding his heart on the water tile, and Para finding the heart on Maze Island. Not having the boots, so cannot access the water tile, unfortunately. Did you want more waffles? Did you want more carbs with your breakfast? Because here you go.
Yeah, waffles served with Nashville hot, it looks like.
Looks like Para's back in P4 as well. Going to be trying a downstabless Rebanak. Another... It's kind of scary to see this many upstab blocks, because we might be just destined to have it be a downstab block at some point here. Did you want another paperclip room? Because you got another paperclip room, Drossi. This is all there is.
Waffle rooms, paperclip rooms, and upstab rooms. That's all we're seeing. It's 3 rooms.
Yeah, unfortunately, pulling that bird back that far allows them to respawn. And I think you could probably get it, but it would be pretty precise timing to get that bird out of the way. But he gets by him nicely here into the pit. Matrix mode, another one at the end here.
Lagorific.
Para does take down the Rebanak and is rewarded with a key. Not what she wanted to see. So far, though, jkoper has shown us that GP is very accessible without downstab, although hopefully there's no commentator curse on that one here. And I'll be honest, as much as we've been watching the GP here, I have not really been able to map this in my head. So with all these very similarly looking rooms, I don't really know. I imagine jkoper is on a correct path, though. Like, I believe this is probably new territory. When it comes to vanilla rooms like this, though, the identifier for the most part is going to be the enemy set. Although he could just simply loop in on itself right here. Nope, it's not going to be the elevator variant. Oh, here it is. Downstab room.
Oh boy.
It doesn't necessarily mean it's the right way, though. I know there's at least one left, if I'm not mistaken, that he left behind him. It was a few rooms back.
He could go up, yeah.
A nice surprise from the red bird there. That's right. Oh, you know what? It's so funny. This is no. Okay, yeah, he can go up and left here. He saw the other up and left was an upstab block. You remember that one? That could have been a loop back to that, but who knows? Who knows anymore? These non-community room GPs are crazy.
He's doubling back all the way here.
Yeah, he might be going back to that upstab room. And, I mean, it doesn't have to be the same one by any means. So, he could be right in making this move here. As far as Para, though, it looks like we've got another downstabless Rebanek on a pass-through room here in P6. She's going to be the first one to show us what sits in P6 here, so...
And jkoper is caught between two blue chicken knights, really not where you want to be. Does get them to take the drop, though.
He is on his last life with less than one heart container to go. Yeah, I think this is the left that I am thinking of with this. Yeah, okay. Oh.
Well, that's something.
I think the two things he has remaining are going to be a downstab block and an upstab block room, if I'm not incorrect. And that means that it wouldn't be a loop in that case, because if that's all we have, well, we haven't seen Darklink or Thunderbird yet, so... Scrolling up in chat, I do apologize for not addressing Alan Heffley as the Alan Heffley.
Oh no, he's on his last bar of life again.
He's got to get the jump to the left, jump, go, go. Matrix mode. The thing is, though, he goes up this elevator and he has to make it through a room with dots and flying heads, I believe. And then he has to make it through... okay, so he's got enough for Fairy. But he has to make it through... Oh, no, we didn't see this way yet, did we?
No, this was the one way he hadn't gone yet.
Okay, perfect. Let's hope we don't have a king bot from the ceiling here. Nothing, we got a clear, empty bridge room.
One of those eerily quiet ones.
It is an elevator room we have here, if I'm not mistaken. Sometimes I forget what's community and what's vanilla. Oh, another one of these.
And another chicken knight, of course.
Nicely done. Obviously cannot take a hit at this point. We'll see what the second enemy is. Oh, he's going to bring it over and do the same thing. Just back it up slowly but surely.
Problem is, if he were to find Thunderbird, he almost certainly wouldn't have enough magic.
Yeah, I think at this point he's hoping to just see a Darklink, and even at that, even if that happens, that's going to be a one-shot Darklink. You're hoping don't take any damage on him. This was the right play in this room, though, because this room would have been a bunch of nonsense. Oh, wow. Another elevator. Another... Oh, my God. Is this a loop?
I sure hope not, but it's so hard to tell.
I'm going to say it's a loop.
It does look like it could well be. Yeah, Level Engine in chat thinks he looped. Though he's out, he's gonna get the hammer. Which we think is in P6.
Yeah, unfortunately though, jkoper not having found Maze Island, that might still be on his mind. And so he might go back to the east to look for it. when P6 is just sitting right over in Saria's Lost Woods area. And then having been away from the West for so long, do you remember everything you've seen? Now, he doesn't think he's been in this cave. We know he has because I'm almost positive there was a magic container in here. Well, Para should be finding the item very soon or in P6 here. Speak of the devil. Is it the hammer?
Truth. There we go.
Wow. Yeah. Well, jkoper needs to stay on the West and get himself into P6 as soon as he can. And he's got a lot of GP knowledge at this point, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Para's going to be off to the races here. We're going to see if it's this town to the east here or if it's north. And we might see a life pickup as well.
Well, here's Mito.
I know. Is jkoper going to head back? He sees is the palace down there? Okay, he's going to go towards the palace. Good. I thought he was going to head north to... Oh, no. The raft tile? Okay, it looks like he's just going to use the cave as a quick pass-through as opposed to going through the bridge.
Hour 23 down stab.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm really not sure what I would have done in that case. I mean, I think I would have I think I would have done 3 and 6 to just go into GP had I found it early on like Para did. I think that probably would have been my play, and I would have left a lot of stuff behind. But then if it really is a downstab block, unless we have missing something on Koper's side, because it was kind of a maze-like non-community room GP, if it really is a downstab block, then I'm not sure where I would have started digging. I'm not sure unless I accidentally stumbled across the item in P6 had I looked for it before leaving. Probably not, especially with the glove in the open like that, like it was. So, but I don't...
Bro, I'm a little bit surprised Para didn't check out Rauru to see if it had life.
Yeah, you know, I don't know. It's also the question we have for jkoper on not picking up shield. But he could have just forgotten. There's just like a lot of stuff going on here. The vanilla shuffle continents really just leave your brain as scrambled eggs.
Well, jkoper found Barba.
Yeah, answering a question from chat, as was already answered though, but it's just the standard. There aren't that many vanilla rooms. There are less vanilla rooms than community rooms. And even when you get a chance to mix vanilla rooms and community rooms together, you have a very open, you have a lot of rooms that are very unique, and you can kind of identify your route a lot better. And so when
jkoper just, while we were talking, found the hammer, just like that.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. So he's really not that far behind if he just hurries himself to Mito at this point. But yeah, without the community rooms in the pool, you only get vanilla rooms, and because there are only so many vanilla rooms, and you can only see them from... sometimes the community rooms are flipped as well. They have flipped vanilla room variants. So when you only see one version of vanilla rooms the entire time, when you start to see that 4th waffle room, or that 4th downstab room, or that 4th Jackamus room, you're like, have I been here already? What is going on? You know, and it starts to feel like the Twilight Zone sometimes. Yeah, I believe GP knowledge should help him, but if it's as confusing as we think it might be, he might be doing some double backing and backtracking and relearning.
Well, especially if he looped in there.
Yeah, you know, I'm still not entirely sure if he had an upstab / downstab block to pick from in the final routing choices that he had available.
And he doesn't want to go to Rauru either.
Maybe Rauru just has Maybe just a ton of criminals or something. Neither one of our runners want to step in there.
I mean, because it's 50-50 whether it has life. We never did find Nibiru. That could be life. And if it doesn't have life, it has fire, which could be linked to life. You never know.
It could also be linked to thunder or something that you just want to blow things up with very quickly and make it through all these birds, because there's a lot of them.
Right, so I'm just kind of surprised neither runner wanted to check out Rauru after all they've been through.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what would be going through anyone's mind at 85 minutes, 86 minutes into the seed at this point, that you just getting downstabbed now and you're like, man, what is my opponent doing at this point? I don't know. I'm not sure how I would have played it. Then again, I probably would have played it a whole lot differently, just for the simple fact that a downstabless Rebanek is something that I would be willing to attempt at much lower levels, and I probably would have dug into those things and found out that information. But I would have probably had a lot of left on the east to find, and so that would have been in the back of my mind too. So it's really hard to say when you've got all this information from both runners on how you might tackle a particular seed. All we know, though, is GP is where we need to be right now. I do want to pay a little close attention to this. Para only at life 6, although Magic 7, life 6, those are flipped on jkoper's side. I don't know if life 7 is giving him any more defense over life 6. We'll have to kind of look at that, because neither one of our runners have shield, and we'll have to see how much beams are eating off them and how much bodying focus are eating off them and things like that. So a beam on jkoper's side.
Did Paratroopa get fire somewhere?
No. Is it just linked? Oh, I don't think so. Is it linked to another spell? Well, I mean, it has to be. So must be linked to jump.
Oh, I don't. Oh, yeah, because jkoper is also doing that. Okay, well, now we know that there's no point in getting fire.
I think the thing is that doesn't even cross my mind, because they're using different beam sprites, so it changes the fire cast as well.
Yeah, I only noticed it because of the sound effect.
I sit here in complete silence. It's just us, Drossi.
You're missing out on the chat experience, then.
Yeah, see, jkoper is not 100% sure on the route here. This is going to be his dead end over here.
Oh, and... Oh, yeah, Para did get upstab in the end. Right, I couldn't remember whether she had finally done that.
I don't know if I finished my thought earlier, but it looked like beams were taking about a heart container off of jkoper at life 7, and so we'll have to make sure that we check to see how much beams are taking off of, Foca beams, that is, are taking off of Para, to see if there's a difference between 6 and 7, although it looks like 2 heart containers on Para's side for the fire from the spicy bird, so we'll have to keep an eye on that as well. jkoper almost about the level at 2890, which is, I'm not sure what that is. It's Magic 7?
I think that'll be Magic 7.
I haven't checked the spell cost on either one of their sides, so I don't know if Magic 7 is going to be dropping anything down. A little hard to see in the Matrix mode there on jkoper's side, but I think it was about a heart container being taken off at life 7 from the fire.
And jkoper is what, maybe 5 rooms behind Para? Because I remember Para coming through here a couple minutes ago.
I've lost all sense of direction.
I just remember the drop down onto the fire-breathing Ropa, and now we have the giant bubble. Because, as we discussed before, this first part is extremely linear.
You know what? jkoper never took this drop. This drop could lead to something. It leads to a downstab room. Oh no.
You can't parry and downstab, and it's only a bot. It might be a bot with a lot of HP. It is a bot with a lot of HP. I know they're scary, but...
Yeah, probably just a fat finger. Hera is down to that final hit there. jkoper, I think, down to his final life as well at this point. Interesting, though, I almost wonder if jkoper saw this direction into the dead-end drop room. And he saw a lot of rooms. We know he saw the one-up room. I don't know. I have a feeling like he saw that drop room, though, from that side. So maybe that's why he didn't take the drop when he saw it. He's thinking, man, that's just going to lead back to the drop room I saw. I don't know. Assuming we get them in for interview, we'll have to ask them there.
Meanwhile, Para unfortunately took a game over, so she's back to the start of the palace.
Yeah, and again, jkoper on his final life might be behind her shortly.
And she took a death so quickly there that she's like, nah, I'm just gonna up A and refill my lives.
Yeah, that's definitely a valid play. In a confusing GP like this, where you probably haven't done a lot of exploration, taking the death in that first room, especially when it seems pretty unnecessary to do so.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what she did. I was just commenting that it's unfortunate. Wow, gets past the spicy chicken pretty nicely.
So jkoper is going to take this drop this time, as we just mentioned a moment ago. Didn't take the drop earlier. So we know that beyond here is a waffle room, and that's where Para died. So we'll see if jkoper can push through a little bit further. Wow, bodying those birds. Did Para just have full life and get 3.5 heart containers? That can't be true. She has to have been down a little bit of life at that point. That's a lot of damage for life 6. And if that's the case, then life 7 has to be undoubtedly doing better than that.
Well, we are in a seriously lagomatic waffle room here.
Oh!
Oh!
So far we did have that downstab block blocking us from Thunderbird's room, and so far this is new territory and final life for jkoper, I think.
And even at Magic 6, Thunder took almost all of our magic.
Yeah, I tried to make a mental note of that. Oh no.
Ooh, having trouble keeping the pendulum going. Wow.
Wow. At least attack 5 here. Looks to be doing fairly well.
one life bar left.
Wow.
Phew.
And that's a level he don't think he can get.
He can take, can he take life 8?
Yes.
He wants life 8.
He gets 100 from the bag.
Clearly wants life 8.
Oh, it's not enough.
No! Oh!
He does want it, though. He's not wrong. I would have done the same thing at this point. Hoping for no surprises in these rooms.
Yeah, I thought he had a little bit more XP than that.
Yeah, so did I. He did have almost enough last time he was in here. Oh!
Is this it? This is Dark Link.
Last life. Just a sliver of health. That's a one shot from Dark Link at this point.
Wow.
So downstab was required. Just one downstab room that blocked us from Thunderbird. Thunderbird also required, but Thunder was not that hidden. It was pretty open and free from what I remember. And that's it.
GG. Wow.
With this being a elimination match, jkoper moves on, and Paratroopa unfortunately does not. I'm sure very relieved at this point that GP. Wow. The whole seed, really.
Yeah, that was... I still can't believe that, like... You had to get the hammer out of P6, which was, of course, the last palace they went to get downstab.
Yeah, well, how crazy. How crazy was that? Yeah, and the thing is, it's even jkoper still didn't even see Maze Island at that point, or P2. So had it not been P6, he would have been, looking for those locations as well. But Para showed us those locations on her side, and all we had was a heart really over there.
And Para is really close now. She's got 2 lives. She just needs to get through this waffle room. And as I recall, Thunderbird really isn't much farther down.
Yeah, we're doing a terrible job at trying to watch for beam damage on Para, but might be here. Just trying to compare that life 6 to life 7. I think Para is just eating a ton of damage with life 6.
Yeah, and she is not going to be happy when she sees how close she was to winning this if she had just been able to get through that room before.
Yeah, that's so true. She took the jump. She took the drop the first time she saw it.
Thunder definitely a bit cheaper at Magic 7, too.
Yeah, it was 78. jkoper looks to be relaxing with a beverage at the moment. Looks to be ice cream, sort of ice cream, dairy related here. Perhaps a milkshake, perhaps a malt. Celebratory for sure. We're going to see if we can get him in for an interview here.
Though, if Para makes it past Thunderbird, we might as well wait and get them both in at the same time.
Oh! Jesus. The fire on Thunderbird here for Para.
Okay.
We need a Zelda 2 series called When the Pendulum Goes Wrong.
And she still has a life after this, so I think she's got her. So.
Yeah. Well, looks like we got jkoper in the waiting room.
Yeah, let's give Para her Dark Link fight. And then we can get both of them, hopefully. And get your GGs in for Paratroopa.
After everything that happened in this seed, not that far of a finish apart from each other.
Right about 4 minutes apart.
jkoper, GG.
Hey, thanks. That was nuts. Yeah. Here comes Para. Hey, Para, GG.
Hey, GG, that sucked. Did not like that seed.
it was
Did
different.
not like the hammer placement?
Nope. Well, okay, so see, I see this. I see that it's 2 crystals required, and I find Great Palace, and I have the Power Glove, so I'm like, okay, so this seed hasn't gone great for me so far. Like, I've lost more time than I think I should have. If downstab isn't required in Great Palace, I'm going to lose. That's no matter what. jkoper is going to beat me there. He's going to get to Great Palace before I do. He's going to do it without downstab if need be, and he will win if downstab is not required. So I'm going to play the seed as if it is. And it turned out that was correct. Downstab was required as well as upstab, which I got in the course of trying to get downstab. But unfortunately, I still didn't find the hammer soon enough. I still could have won that run if I had played my first run through Great Palace better, but I died just before Thunderbird, sadly. So it ended up being a pretty close race, but that's my thinking on that one.
Yeah, you definitely made it to that waffle room right before Thunderbird, several minutes before jkoper did. But
but I was low on lives. Yeah, that last waffle room was a bitch and a half too. And then I wouldn't have been able to beat Thunderbird even if I got through it. So sadly, it just wasn't a clean enough run to get through there. Maybe 5, 7, 6. Maybe if I hadn't been lazy, I hit Magic 7 instead of waiting for Attack 6 or Life 7. Probably Life 7 actually would have been the better help here because I had so few heart containers. But I don't know if that would have helped or not. Maybe, but yeah, that's where I was. 5, 7, 6.
Yeah, I had 5, 6, 7 with 4 hearts.
Mm-hmm. I had 4 hearts as well.
And all the magic containers.
I only had 7, but not that was really material.
And we saw you try to pull Life 8 out of the Thunderbird experience, and it just wasn't quite enough.
Yeah, I didn't remember how much the P-Bag drop was. If it was 300, I was thinking maybe. I couldn't remember what it was. It had been so long. Then I was thinking maybe I got a chance. Like, what is getting magic gonna do for me? Only if I need to use fairy or jump in the next room. It's much more likely that I'll be able to kill something, and I want to use life. I had a sliver of health left, and I was on my last life into Dark Link, and it was terrifying. So
oh wow,
yeah, I got hit once on Thunderbird, and
so did I.
Definitely one more time than I wanted to because I couldn't have any.
I had actually. That was on my run back, but I actually had 2 lives going to Thunderbird, so I could afford to take a hit there and then still be safe on Dark Link. But it was scary for me too.
Yeah, you didn't get shield or life, right?
No, did you go to Raru? Because I'd skipped it. In retrospect, I shouldn't have.
Yeah, I certainly considered it, but I felt really behind too. I also spent a long time in GP without downstab. So
yeah, and I got downstab before I ever went to GP, so I didn't know how difficult GP was going to be. But I probably should have assumed that since you weren't done yet, it was probably at least like a little bit difficult. So going to Raru, I don't know what spell it was. It would have been
one of life or shield. I'm sure.
It's not shield. Shield is in Darunia.
No, it would have been fire or life in Rauru because shield was in Darunia.
Yeah. And fire could be anything.
No, fire was linked to jump, I think. Maybe?
Yes. Yeah, but you got jump. You had fire through jump. You never actually got fire.
Right.
Oh, fire was jump linked. I didn't even notice.
Between Rauru and Naburu, one of them had to have life and the other had to have fire.
Yeah,
and neither of you ever found Naburu.
Brew must be Boots blocked?
New Kasuto location, we were thinking.
Could be that. But it could also be, did you get Boots?
Yeah, I got Boots
Oh,
really
okay.
early. They were
Okay.
in P4. That was the first item I got.
They were in P4?
They were in
Oh.
P3.
No,
P3.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm
okay.
sorry.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
P4.
I never-
You guys both had a lot of fun with downstabless Rebo in P4.
Yeah.
It wasn't actually as hard as I thought it would be, but yeah.
I mean, it was. Yeah, it was not fun. I put it off for a bit, and then I came back later, and it still took me a couple tries. And yeah, man, I sure wasn't
That's
happy
right.
to see a Rebo room. I don't know. It would have been nice to have some health spell. So, so Shield was in, Darunia?
Darunia, and the child is in 1, which I never
No.
found.
Yeah, I got the child.
Okay.
You just
Level-
went back to Darunia after that.
Where's
Yeah.
where's level 1? Is that where P5 is? Or one of those
level
places?
1 was somewhere.
It was in one of the Darunia encounters in Vanilla up there by Darunia.
Oh, okay. That's
yeah,
also
yeah.
Blues blocked. So
Yeah, I guess so.
yeah, I never got to any of those places.
Where was Darunia again?
Southeastern corner where the heart container is on the beach.
Oh, okay, yeah. I didn't remember. Otherwise, I probably would have gone back, I guess. I was just looking for the hammer for a
Yeah,
long time.
I
That was
didn't-
really my only focus, so...
Yeah, that was my focus too, because I knew it blocked down stab, and I was going based on the idea that down stab would be required if I was going to win at all. But for the first time I went to Darunia, I just backed out of there. I didn't even get up stab, but I went back to get up stab so I could get the item in 5, which ended up being a magic tuner, so whatever. But up stab actually ended up being required too. So it's good to get it, I guess.
You needed upstab for the item in 5? Is that what oh, that's right. You
Yeah, I
had to
think you
go
do.
right to left through one of
Yeah.
those block rooms, and you
You need either up stab
or...
or down stab, but I
Right.
didn't have down stab, obviously.
Well, actually, I think you can get around upstab if you use jump or something, maybe?
Yes.
Yeah, I couldn't figure it out, so I didn't try.
Right. Yeah, I don't exactly know how it's done either. I already had upstab, so I wasn't
Mhm.
worried about trying to figure it out. But
Right.
Yeah. Man, that scene was really weird. But
Yeah,
that's
it
what
was.
Max Rando does, I guess.
Oh yeah,
It
speaking
sure
of
does.
really weird, jkoper, you were just itching for a fight with Horsehead, weren't you?
Yeah. I had thought it was 3 gems, and then I should have double checked or something, but I didn't.
Yeah,
and-
no, because you brought up your menu to cast spells, and I'm like, I'm not going crazy here. It really says 0 gems left.
Yeah, no, I don't look at that too often. There's too much on the menu. It's hard to look
Mhm.
at everything and remember all of it. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I thought it was 3. It worked out okay because I got a bunch of experience in 1, and then I was able to turn that into a level eventually. Yeah, I don't know. I don't regret going to 1 for sure to try to get the item out of there, but
Mhm.
I mean,
I really would have liked Shield, but dang.
yeah, that's funny that we didn't have it for very different reasons.
Right.
Um,
I think in retrospect I should have done P3, but I just decided to go into Death Mountain instead, and I just skipped it. I think that was the wrong choice, but it didn't. I guess it didn't. I don't know. It's hard to say whether or not that hurt me.
I don't know if that was the first item I got, because I went into P3
Oh, okay.
and then it was too hard to get anywhere because there were blue iron knuckles
Okay.
everywhere, and I found the boss right away too. Did you didn't beat that reenact, did you? Or did you?
I never entered 3 because
okay.
I did
Yeah.
beat the Rebenek in 4. And
Yeah, the
in
boss was like
6.
3 rooms in. It was
Okay, yeah, I never went into 3 because I just the reason I feel like I should have done P3 is because if I did have to go back there, then it's like potentially I have to go through all of Death Mountain again, which is bad. And you want to have P3 you want to have anything before that squared away. But
Yeah.
I just
So,
went
I
through it.
mean-
well, maybe I'll find the hammer later, and I didn't.
You know, it wasn't required to go through Death Mountain, right?
What do you mean?
This
I-
is so interesting.
Yeah.
Please say this.
Yeah, go for it. Oh, you want
No,
me
no,
to say it?
Oh yeah, go ahead. You say it.
All right. So, like I did. You said something in the race room right away, and so
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if you were going through Death Mountain. I was like,
Well,
that's a little weird. When I found Death Mountain, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get the item. I didn't remember if I had the hammer or not, but then I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, so I got the item out of Hammer Cave, but then I up and aid, and yeah, going through the item caves at the start, I had enough levels that I could cast Fairy, and then there were, to the left of Death Mountain, there was 2 options for Fairy. One was Fairy Cave, which basically led to a dead end, and then the other was Saria, and so you could fly over Saria, and that took you to the main section of
What the hell am
west.
I missing? I'm almost certain that there's no way to get out of there without Death Mountain. What am I missing?
The funny thing is, you did check it, Para. You went through Saria at one point.
Saria's not in the same part of the overworld.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, one half is.
The left side
is
of
it?
Saria.
Yeah.
What? I don't understand. That doesn't. I don't get it.
Can you go
cross?
back into the seed, the left side of Saria.
Wait, can you cross that bridge?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
walk
God
out
damn
and then
it.
go back to
Okay.
the left.
Okay, I didn't know you could cross the bridge. I thought it was blocked.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
understandable.
All right, I see. Well, that's I lost a lot of time in Death Mountain then.
Yes. Go ahead.
I lost a lot of time in Death Mountain.
So
that's probably
this
what lost me the race.
This is how the randomizer used to be when it was very first made, when every seed was vanilla overworld.
I remember.
Yeah. So I played enough of it back then that that was certainly a gotcha at some point that, you have to go in and then back out of that.
Yeah, I completely forgotten about it.
So, yeah, it was right there, I guess.
Well, let's see. I got a lot of levels out of Death Mountain at least, so that's something.
Yeah,
But,
if you made it through
obviously wouldn't have
successfully,
done.
then that's not nothing.
Well, I didn't the first time I lost. I game
Oh,
overed in it once, but I went through it again. Wasted a lot of time to do so. But so that's not. I mean, I guess you needed to be able to cast Fairy, right? And that was Magic 3, I think.
I don't. You're getting through this seed without casting Fairy. I don't know. I felt like I casted it about 50 times at least.
Well, no. But like, you needed to cast Fairy to avoid Death Mountain, right?
Right. Yeah. But I got to 333 pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think I did
500
too.
point
Actually,
drops.
I think I did too. So that probably wasn't too material. I think I was like 4, 5, 6 by the time I got a Death Mountain. I think like something ridiculous like that.
Oh, that's funny.
4, 5, 5 or something. I don't remember exactly. It was
Either way,
high
that's
though.
Yeah, from
oh
our
well.
perspective, the way that played out in the beginning was pretty interesting because you both took different routes and you both did different things in the east. And it was like very early on, you had access to Medicine Cave and then the Pillar/P-Bag Cave, which was just a P-Bag, and Medicine Cave was a magic container. And then, Hera, you were into Death Mountain almost immediately at that point, checking Hammer Cave. I forget what was in there. It might have been just a 1-up or something useless. I don't remember what was in there.
It was a magic container, which was good.
Oh,
at that
okay.
time.
Yeah, and then jkoper jumped into 3, and you spent a little time in 3, jkoper, not really getting anywhere. And we were wondering, we're like, this is going to put him behind a little bit. I don't really know what he's looking for in here. And Para was digging into Death Mountain, and we're like, he's going to have to do the same dig. But then, lo and behold, jkoper, castable fairy, checks across Saria, and then all of a sudden, he is ahead of where you were, Para. He was over in the Lost Woods area of Vanilla West, and we were like, oh, well, this puts jkoper back on the map here. He's not that far behind. And then you got spit out on the other side eventually, kind of in the swamp areas where the other side of Death Mountain was. But then ultimately, jkoper did have the boots from 3. We wondered if there was going to be in play because of the Vanilla East and the way that water section works. Otherwise, useless everywhere else. But or I guess quick access on Maze Island. But jkoper never found Maze Island, actually. We were wondering if you were going to go back and look for that instead of trying for P6. Because, Para, you did find Maze Island, and that was, you each found a different heart. So, Para, you found the heart on Maze Island, and then the other heart was on the water tile because you didn't have the boots.
Yeah,
you couldn't get it. So
I found the water tile. I couldn't go
yes,
onto it.
yes. So it was interesting to see you both play things out in this way.
Okay.
The flute was in Death Valley in an item cave. jkoper found that.
It led to Maze Island. That's it.
Yeah, he found that first, and that led him up in that section. But those single bridge tiles on jkoper, did you?
Yeah, I completely blanked on that, and then I was thinking, as I was like going to P6, I was thinking, man, I never found Maze Island, and then I thought, oh man, that's gonna be just one of those bridge tiles in the east.
Okay, that's
and
funny.
yeah, I just forgot about it.
So we both had bridge-related gotchas here happen, because I remembered that Maze Island was going to be one of those. I was like, okay, I gotta check these.
Yeah, and Para, very early on, you found GP very, very early on in the Island Palace location there, and then the whole time as jkoper's digging the east, he's got 2 palaces on the west. He's digging the east for more palaces. He's thinking about Maze Island, and we're wondering, we know he's got to come back to the west. And you had that knowledge of where GP was for a very long time, and we were wondering if that was going to come back and bite jkoper in the end. But ultimately, it did not, and he was in the GP first and didn't have downstab, and he had to come back out and find the hammer and go get downstab and then come back in. And you were in your first time before he came in the second time. And then, of course, we ultimately know how that played out at the end there, that waffle room, the downstab block and all of that.
Yep.
Yeah, when I first saw that that drop room with the 2 orange bird knights, I didn't want to take it because I felt like I had already seen one drop destination, maybe more, and I thought that was likely to be a loop. And then as I kept going through GP, I kept seeing more and more drop destinations. So I kept thinking, man, I've only seen like that one drop, then that's got to lead to one of these places. But even if it does, and I probably just want to check that one downstab block that I saw, or that I thought I saw. That GP was very confusing. But yeah, so I mean, there was at least one loop, and I'm not even sure how many other loops there may have been. But yeah, yeah. So when I said I want to check that downstab block, but what I'm gonna do is just take the drop, and if it goes to one of those drop destinations, then I'll go to the downstab block and go through that. And it just went somewhere completely different, and I was like, oh, okay. And then it was Thunderbird, and I was like, yeah, whatever. And I figured that was probably the end, and it was. And I was upset that I got hit on Thunderbird, like I said, pretty quickly. But then I clutched it out, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah, I got super lucky the first time I went to GP. When I was going through Jump Cave, I got 2 1-ups like back to back. So even though I didn't have any health spells or downstab to work with, I still had like 7 lives going into GP. So that let me do a lot of exploration. But then ultimately, I would have saved a lot more time just having downstab going in, of course. But yeah, that hammer. So was P2 on Maze Island then? It was, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. It didn't have any item in it.
There's just like a key or a jar or something.
It was like a key, I think.
Yeah.
Or a jar or something. I can't remember what.
Oh, I think that was that new Kasuto that had a double regular keys in it.
Double regular keys. I was so bummed by that. Although jump ended up being not required, but very, very, very useful. So
yeah, I've used jump a few times for sure in the waffle rooms.
You could get through that one upstab blocked room, the one with the like long, tall block pillar, right? You could get through that without jump.
Yeah.
I don't remember how to do it, but
you just gotta kind of get your momentum going the right way, and then jump up there.
Yeah, I don't know how to do it correctly, but I found jumps. I was like, okay.
I don't know if I know how to do it correctly, but I can get it about 50% of the time, kind of. So it's It's good enough. But I was just casting jump a lot at the end too because it was only like 8, and I was just like, well, I'm not using this magic on refilling my health or anything, so
Right.
I as well try to speed things up a little. I was just casting fairy over and over again a lot of the time.
So here's what's interesting about Great Palace is that the reason I went down the drop room is because if I went the other, I was going to go the other way, but there is that blue bird knight at the top of the room, and I was going to die if I tried to fight him. So I was like, well, I can't go that way because that's going to be a game over no matter what. I might as well go down this drop room, and well, I didn't know it was a drop room at the time because I didn't cross the room with the lava bridge first, but I went that way. I was like, well, I'll go down this drop. I don't think this is going to lead anywhere, but I'm going to take it and see where it goes. And I was like, ooh, this did lead somewhere. Unfortunately, it did lead to a game over. But I did see that there was a downstab block on the way. So I was like, that's the way I want to go. Because that's the way that I'm going to get to see before jkoper does, if I'm going to win this. And that ended up being the correct way to go. Although that's not the reason why I was there first. But it made sense, though, definitely, to go that way based on what I had at the time.
Your metagaming was kind of correct, I guess.
Yes, sort of. I mean, it's a weird thing, right? Because it's like,
yeah,
it's like, well, you haven't finished yet, so that means something must have gone wrong.
Yeah, it was something. All right, it's all
yeah. Oh boy. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and jump in here. It is getting late. So congratulations, jkoper, for winning, and congratulations, Para, for making it a very close race. That was an awesome thing to watch. Very.
Yeah, it was a fun one. I played pretty well.
Very high tense towards the end there with you both in GP at the same time. Also, thank you to Drossi and Mirai for commentating, and thank you to Mr. VGD for tracking. Coming up on ZSR tomorrow, we have a few hype matches on Wednesday. At 5 p.m. Eastern, we have the Ocarina of Time Randomizer Standard Tournament lower bracket semifinals between What the Hell Happened and Sponge. At 10 p.m. Eastern, we have the Zelda 2 Randomizer Max Rando Tournament match between Trail Z and Level Engine. And then at 12:30 a.m. on Thursday Eastern, or still Wednesday and Pacific time, we have the Link to the Past Randomizer AD Keys Tournament Grand Finals Game 1 between Gamachu and Humbug. So lots of good content tomorrow on Wednesday. Hope you all find something you want to watch. And with that, we're going to go ahead and close it off here. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Hope you had a wonderful time and have a fantastic rest of your night.